Welcome to part 2 of the Gothic Mansion interior. I'm Sarah Superstar, and today we're working on the first floor. Starting with the room on the other side of the mansion, I'm going to begin with taking down all of this gray wall, and I'm going to take down the tuff that I have in the wall in the center. It should look something like this. Next, we're going to do what I'm calling crown molding. I don't know if the correct term is actually crown molding, but that's what I'm calling it. So the crown molding is going to be upside down stairs, and it's going to be on the same level as upside down stairs that we did for the columns in the first video. I'm also placing 2 more columns at the end of the room. They're going to go 1 block behind the floor. Instead of covering these windows with a wall and losing 1 block space, I'm going to take advantage of as much space as I can in this build, and I'm going to use the back of my windows as sort of a wallpaper for this wall. So we're going to extend the basalt, we're going to put in a gray wall, and I'm also extending the sculk block in the middle. I just didn't get to it in this clip. I'm continuing the crown molding along the back as well as along the left side. We're going to finish up the columns by placing the feet all around the edges. The column on the right is going to get 3 feet. The column on the left is only going to get 2. Then we're doing the same thing as we did in the first video. We're placing the walls above the stairs with 3 iron bars. I'm also putting feet on the back columns. Now I'm going to work on making the bottom part of the walls. The left side is a little bit hard to see, but the right side will be easier to see, and it's going to be the same exact pattern. It's cauldron, 3 anvils, and another cauldron on top. Underneath the first cauldron, I am placing some candles, so it gives off a little bit of a glow. Behind the cauldrons and anvils, I'm replacing the tuff wall that I have with gray concrete, and that's so when you look at the cauldrons, you see more of like the detailed outlines of them and the anvil and the shapes they give, but it's not too noticeable. It's just like a little accented. On the right side, I'm not using the gray concrete because the basalt that's with my window is in the way, which now that I'm doing this, I guess you could do the left side basalt as well so they match, but either way. Then I'm putting 1 lodestone against each cauldron, and below each lodestone, I'm putting crackstone brick and regular stone brick. On the bottom and the top between each lodestone, I'm doing 4 observers that face sideways. The inside's going to be filled in a checkered pattern using polished andesite and sideways furnaces. Moving on to the center wall, we're going to do the same cauldron, 3 anvils and cauldron. I'm going to start with just doing the basic decorations for these walls and the ceiling, and then at the end we're going to go back one more time and do the last layer of decorations. I'm going to jump to the roof now and start on the ceiling. I'm removing about half the slabs. I'm going to remove the 3 middle slabs on the side and the top, and then remove the whole row on the bottom. I'm filling in the center with smithing tables. I think the bottom red and black makes a really nice Gothic look. For my ceiling lights, I'm using Shroomlights. They're gonna go in the middle on each side of the ceiling. On each side of the Shroomlights, you can place a tile Deepslate block. Under each Shroomlight, you'll add a hopper. So it'll cover the light, but it still lets a little bit of the light through. The next part of the ceiling is a little bit complicated to explain, so hopefully I could do it. It's another thing that I'm calling crown molding, even though I'm not sure if it is crown molding. But it starts off with a wall, full blocks, stairs, more full blocks and slabs. This is not explaining it at all. I apologize. It's just so much easier to watch. Sorry. The corner is the same design in each corner, so hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. I'm just gonna shut up and let it play on screen for you. This is what the first half of the ceiling looks like. I love it. I think it looks so cool and so Gothic. And now here's the backside. Ta-da! Doesn't that look so cool? I love it. I absolutely love it. It looks so good. Couldn't love it enough. Now we're finally moving back to the walls that we started in the beginning. On the left and right side of the walls, on the top half, we're just filling it in with mud. I don't think I've mentioned what this room is even going to be yet. It's a special room for our wardens. They are very sentimental with their loved ones who have passed on. So this is going to be a viewing room, a crematorium, and kind of a mausoleum. Okay, back to the walls. This back wall on the top half, we're filling in with gray concrete. Then jumping down to our last wall, I'm going to start on the incinerator. Using gray concrete powder, we're going to make 2 columns on either side of the main columns. No. That's not right. The same thing I'm doing on the left is the same thing I'm going to do on the right. It is a mirrored incinerator. Am I hungry? Am I tired? Why can't I think? This gets a little expensive right here. Just these 2 blocks. You don't need to use them if you don't want to, if you don't have them. They could literally be changed into any dark color block. I just didn't use them at all in this build, so I thought throw them in. Throw some netherite block in there. Between the netherite blocks, we're gonna put stairs. Then above the stairs and back a block, we're gonna do 2 blast furnaces, then 2 furnaces on top of that, and then 4 blast furnaces on top of that. I'm going to change a little bit of the crown molding. It's still going to be stairs. Well, actually, on top of these upside down stairs, you're going to put a slab. Next to those slabs, you're going to turn the stairs facing a different way. I like using the furnaces for the incinerator because it'll add more movement once I put like raw meat inside of it. It'll have the fire animation going and it'll look more like an incinerator. All right, moving on. We are jumping around a lot. We are moving on to the mantle. So this is going to be the wall in the middle of the room. I'm just going to be putting a collage of paintings up here, as well as some candles and a few other little decorations that, you know, usually go on mantles. I know I already put the villager painting upstairs in the attic, but I think I want to, ooh, that's pretty. I love that pot. Yeah, I think I need them back here as well. I need them everywhere. I think I'm going to put the pot on this side. If I could ever get it. Come on. What? Okay, finally. I was going to get annoyed. We'll put one big one here in the middle. Oh, that's perfect. That's so depressing. That's so perfect for this room. I'm gonna line the mantle with just a bunch of candles. A little flower pot. Maybe a dead flower pot. And let's do a skull. Okay, that's the mantle decoration. That wall is now 100% done. The last 2 decorations on this wall is going to be a pot with another pot on top, so it's kind of like an urn, and then a brewing stand, just because it looks like some sort of tool. Back to the first wall we started on. I have jumped around a lot, but we are turning these into like mausoleum drawers. So I'm putting an item frame up with stairs that I'm turning into little hearts, and then I'm using signs as like the drawer. I forgot to add candles under this cauldron in the first half of the video, so I'm correcting it and adding it back now. But this does give you a little bit better of a view now that there's light here, and the anvils go in different directions. So the first and third one go in the same direction, and the middle one is a different direction. Which direction doesn't really matter, you could choose, kind of the same. Now for the final decoration in this viewing crematorium mausoleum, you have to have a coffin, right? You have to. So I'm making some candle pillars, and then we're gonna add a coffin to the center of the room. A usable coffin. All right, that's the viewing room. That's our second completed room. This room was the hardest one to figure out. I had an idea what I wanted to put in all the other rooms except for this one. This one left me stumped for days, but I am so happy with the way it turned out. Moving on to our final room for this video, we're doing the entrance room. I'm taking down the light gray wall, and in replace of it, I'm putting up just a gray wall using gray concrete. It's not going to be the full wall, it is just a little bit of the wall. I'm also taking warped log and continuing wrapping it around the entrance door. This is what the gray wall will look like. That left side that's missing a little portion of the gray wall is going to stay empty. That's where we're going to put our redstone door, but I am going to save that for the third episode just because it makes a lot of noise in the mansion and I don't want it opening and closing a lot while I'm building the second floor. I'm using warp trap doors here on top and the bottom of these upside down stairs, going all the way across until it hits the polished deep slate block. Eventually I am going to put shriekers up there, but again, that's something that makes a lot of noise, so I don't want to put it up there just yet. So that wall is pretty much done until we add the last little touches of decoration. Moving on to this back wall, this is going to be our fireplace wall. This side is also using gray concrete as the wall, and I'm also taking the crown molding in 2 blocks. I'm putting some hidden lighting right here by the stairs. I'm using a soul lantern and putting a gray carpet on top of it. Now heading upstairs, we're going to do the ceiling of the first floor and the floor of the second floor. So I'm just going to let you watch this pattern. So that's the floor pattern and also the ceiling. We're going to do a very similar crown molding that we did in the viewing room in here. The only difference is 2 of the walls in this fireplace room are a little bit wider than the ones in the viewing room, so the pattern will be a little bit different. Okay, that's 2 of the corners done. I love the way this looks. I think it looks so gothic. I love the gray on black on black. It looks so good. I'm putting 4 soul lanterns on this wall as well. Each room in this mansion was meant to have like a different color. It's supposed to be a monochrome type of room. So the stairs are purple, this room's blue. The crematorium was like a brownie type color. And then upstairs there's gonna be a green room and also like an orange peach room. Okay, that's the ceiling done. It matches the viewing room where it's not too matchy-matchy, but it still feels cohesive as a first floor. Now we're gonna move on to the actual fireplace. It's gonna be a big, oversized fireplace. This is the finished fireplace. I opted for not speaking and just putting the blocks that I was using on the screen because my voice was feeling a little bit sore. But this is the finished fireplace. I am going to put a painting on the top of here. I have a specific one in mind. Yep, this one. It's just so sad and lonely. It's perfect. And then for decoration, I'm putting a shrieker on either side, and that's it for this wall. It's just very simple. I want to add an update I did to these stairs. I found out that light shows through walls, so I'm going to put a frog light behind the walls at the bottom of the stairs, right by each armor stand, so you can see the difference here. The left one has the light, the right one doesn't. It just makes it look a little bit more glowy and brighter. Alright, that's the end of the tutorial for the first floor of the Gothic mansion. I'm so excited that it's finally out. I absolutely love these rooms, and I can't wait to show you the second floor. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!